Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today we're going to be reviewing Sword Art Online Episode 12. I liked this episode. Didn't wow me crazy-wise, but I liked it. A lot of good emotional parts. Not really, just one, but it still caught my attention. I wanted to give it a 3.5 out of 5 at the beginning, but you watch enough of it at the end, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's pretty good. So let's just dive in. So pretty much we have Asuna and Kirito approaching a church. Do you remember those orphans or those little kids and that nun-like lady they ended up saving? Well, now he's in front of a church with Yui, Asuna, and himself. They walk in hoping something would be familiar for Yui, but the nun's actually really nice. We don't find out what her name is, at least I don't believe I know what her name is, and I don't know if she's a real nun or not, but it's an online game, so I'm guessing that's the job she picked. And basically the nun goes to describe these kids have been here for 2 years, they've gone through dramatical stress, so that's why they're very scared of a lot of things. And she ends up asking, let me think, not asking, but more or less, does this kid look familiar? And again, Yui doesn't, she doesn't really say much. She's still in La La Land, she's still drawing blanks. And then you hear a knock at the door, and you open it, the nun opens it up. It's Euler. She's part of I call it the ALF, but it's called the Anchored Liberation Force, and she's needs help. And just by coincidence, Asuna and Kirito are here, and they feel that since we kicked your army's butt, are you here for revenge? And the thing is, no, this is what Euler says, quite the opposite. I'm here to ask you for help. And here's the reason. Their leader, called Thinker, has been set up. He's somewhere in a dungeon of a high enough level, but on floor 1. I mean, this is November 1st, 2024, and we're on floor 1, and yet somehow there's a place underneath the New Beginnings with something around level 990 level. Like the monsters are high levels, like on floor 90 or level 90. I forget what he actually said, but they're just really high monsters there. So the Liberation can't get in there. So she basically asks, can you, Asuna and Kirito, come down and help? Now, I like Asuna in this one. She was all sticking to her guns, like, I don't know if we're gonna have to authenticate this. But then Yui is like, I don't know why, but I believe her. I can sense this, and you gotta like Kirito. He's like, I like your tenacity. It's like, you got a gut feeling. I'm proud of you. Let's go with it. It's better to go with it than to not go with anything at all, I guess. And Euler goes on to say there is a guy by the name of Kabuo within the ALF, pretty much. And within the Liberation Force, this guy by the name of Kibo, he's started his own faction. He was the one that was in charge. Well, not in charge. He was the one taxing people. He's pretty much the dirty guy in the army, and no one wants to be really associated with him. But he's climbing the power chain, and he set up Thinker, which is the guild leader of the AFL, the ALF. I keep my own word and I messed that up, but it's the ALF. So Euler wants Asuna and Kirito to come down and save him, and they end up actually doing that. They go down to the dungeon. It's called the Black Iron Castle, and it's weird. It's like on level 1, but they're going through it. Kirito His first objective, the first monsters you see him fight, the only monsters at first you see him fight are like a dozen or so of frogs. And he ends up keeping the legs and freaking out Asuna because she's like, it's from an animal. Like, has she caught on this is a video game? You're not actually eating them. It's not real. So okay, she just like keeps throwing them away. It's like he goes into Kirito goes into his bank. He's like, here, I got some more of them. It's like 12 or 13 of them in his hand, and they're fighting. And it's like, but anyways, they progress more into it, and Euler ends up seeing Thinker. Like, she sees him on the map, then sees him in the safe zone, and without thinking, she like runs to him. And that exactly wasn't smart, but Kirito, using his special eyes, sights, notices there's a scythe coming down and ends up stopping her just in the nick of time. Turns out it's a Reaper, a high-level Reaper. He basically tells Euler, take Yui, go to the safe zone, and now Asuna and Kirito are fighting the Reaper. Well, it's mostly Kirito at first, then Asuna joins in. And Yui, along with Euler, end up making it to Thinker, and he's okay. They're in the safe zone. But the downside is now they have to deal with the the Grim Reaper character. Now, this looks like an impossible match for Kirito just to do by himself, so he has Asuna there to back him up. And he's like, no, you just go with them and use your crystals to get out of here. Because Euler has the extra crystals. She gave one to Thinker and had an extra one for Yui and herself. And Kirito's like, okay, take her, take Yui with you. Asuna, get out of here. Guys, just crystal out, and then I'll follow. Well, Asuna, obviously, she's like, okay, I'm married. It's like, this is what I'm getting from it. Okay, I'm married to you. I ain't going anywhere. And you know what? Yui's just a child. She can't see that. No. So Asuna ends up staying, and just when you see Euler and Thinker about to port out, Yui jumps out, and they automatically port. So now Yui's there, and it looks like Kirito and Asuna were about to lose, I guess, to the Grim Reaper, because they were pretty much low leveled, and Kirito looked like he was going to die if it kept on, and Yui just snapped. It's like right above her head it said, what was it called? Immortal Object. The word Immortal Object appeared over Yui's head, because she like jumps right in front of them, and they're like, Yui, no, don't do this. And it's like, yeah, that word pops up across her head, and she pulls out this sword that's on fire, strikes down the Grim Reaper, and he dies instantly. It's like, what? Did that happen? Oh, yeah, it happened. She saves the day. Then they go to the safe room, and for a safe room, it's all white with a little marble table chair thing. It's like, okay, interesting safe zone. And she ends up saying, well, you know what? I don't have amnesia anymore. I know everything. It's like, it took that little thing to trigger it, so at least we're getting somewhere. She basically says she's an AI. She's part of the Cardinal system, which is the system that operates Sword Art Online. It's supposed to work. I'm going to read you word for word. It's controlled by an immense system called Cardinal. It's designed to run without any human interaction. So she came from Cardinal, and 2 years ago, the system instructed her not to interact with any of the new players on the first day the game launched. So she basically was sitting in like I'm going to call it the intermediate world, like the astral planes of Sword Art Online. That's where she was at, and she was sat there watching every single person go through all these emotions. And she ends up telling Kirito and Asuna what she really is. She's a PPC, a player psychological care. That's what she pretty much is. And to break it down even more, she's a mental health counseling program prototype 1, codename Yui. So now they know she's an AI, and it doesn't change the fact that they know she can think. She is part of this world, and they're not letting go, and she doesn't want to go. she ends up typing a little thing in the marble chair, not chair, you know, like the thing she's sitting on, the chair, I guess. And she has like this little digital computer thing that pops out, and it's like, well, there's a downside to why I can't really be with you guys now, because I put my this room is pretty much for the game masters, the GMs, for emergency access, and I use my password to get in and to kill the Reaper outside, and so that pretty much sent a red flag up to Cardinal, and they've pretty much deemed me as a threat, like a foreign object in the game now, so I'm being deleted. And you see her going, and you see Asuna breaking down, but Yui, she cries. It's like, even though this isn't real, you know, she's crying. It's like, mommy, daddy. I'm like, oh my god, this is so dramatic. And then she's gone. Before she was gone, you know what? As soon as you see her go, Kirito jumps in, hacks the system since her password was still in, and before anything else happens, he saves her. And it's called, I guess the title of it's called Yui's Heart of Yuri. Well, he digitally saved her in a little teardrop and gave it to Asuna. So they've got something to fight about. They've got something to work toward now. But I like how she put it. Our first daughter. And Kirito's like, as soon as we get out of this game, her files saved onto my account, I'm going to reconstruct her. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things different, but I'm going to reconstruct her. So they've got a goal in mind, another goal in mind. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. So it's interesting to see where this is going. It's very, got pretty emotional at the end, so that's why I liked it. But there really were no battle scenes. I mean, you see Euler and Thinker waving with the kids, and that was it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I'll say it again. Spoiler alert. Thinker and Euler, when the game ends offline, they get married. Yeah, that's a spoiler. Write that down. I don't really have a lot of expectations for the next episode. I think it's going to be probably another light filler. There'll be a little... I don't think there'll be flashbacks of Yui, but more or less small missions, and they're probably going to get closer to going back to the front lines, maybe. Maybe something about the laughing coffin. The guild laughing coffin. And maybe something to do with the Kibuya, the leader of that faction within the Liberation Front, the Liberation Force, the AFL, or the ALF, how I put it. So we have a couple things to look forward to. But again, I gave this a 4 out of 5. I would have gave it a 3.5 out of 5 if it wasn't for the drama. Since there was that little light drama, I had to bump it up another half. So, but comment, let me know what you think. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment down below, sub, check my Twitter out, and let me know what you think. I think that pretty much does it today. I'm not going to be reviewing anything else unless I make a random YouTube clip of what anime I'm watching now. Maybe I'll do Gundam AGE today. I'll see where that's at. Okay, well that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. And before I forget, can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. See you later, guys.